What's up, comic book fans? And welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ, what they call me. And today, we got more Blood Hunt. This time with another new tie-in called Midnight Suns Blood Hunt, issue number 1. And if you guys have missed any part of this Blood Hunt event thus far, then I'll put up a card for you at the top of the screen. And I'll put a link at the end of the video. But I know a lot of Blood Hunt tie-ins have been received with mixed feelings, but I think this is the one that the majority will like, especially since it features the team that Blade was previously associated with, so we get a closer look at more of his betrayal. Plus, we've got two Ghost Riders together in Danny Ketch and Johnny Blaze. So if you guys are ready for this spiritual roller coaster featuring the teammates of Blade during his epic heel turn, and you guys know what time it is. Let's get it. So when this issue kicks off, it kind of brings credence to the idea that Blade is not currently in control over his body. Because the opening page almost seems as if it's a dream that he's having, and that very well may be the case. Like he's just a passenger in his own body right now, like he's in a sunken place. But he walks towards a church on fire and thinks to himself that this must be a nightmare. Cold and burning at the same time. Where am I? Nowhere. I'm dreaming. None of this is real. None of this is real. Then we pick up with him at a diner with the soldiers that he had previously trained to hunt vampires. So they're not specific here, but it was kind of like that dream was taking place while Blade's meeting up with his crew. And they've all come to meet with Blade at this diner per his request. And one of them mentions that Blade doesn't look well. But when he tells Blade that they're all here, Blade gets up and straight massacres every single one of them. And then Blade even sheds a tear. So this kind of makes us believe that, yeah, he's watching this happen, but he might not be in control of it. But we'll see for sure as this event goes on, I'm sure of it. But then we pick up in Arizona with Danny Ketch shooting bottles out in the desert with a shotgun when he's approached by Tulip Hamato, a former fling and ally of Blade's. Then she introduces herself to him and tells him that they have mutual friends. So Danny asks her what it is that she wants, and she tells him that she's here about Blade. So they go inside and she gives him the rundown of what he's been up to. And initially Danny doesn't believe it. That doesn't sound like Blade, he replies. And Tulip agrees that it doesn't. Blade's capable of a lot of things, and after his time with Dracula, he's capable of even more. But he wouldn't hunt his own people. At least not if he had a choice, she tells Danny. So they think that maybe someone might have put Blade up to this. Or maybe it's not really him at all. But Tulip plans on finding him and asking for herself. But she's here because she needs some help first, and specifically from the other guy. So now Danny gets up out of his seat like, okay, so you just think that the Ghost Rider is gonna wrap a chain around him and stare at him to reveal the truth? Is that it? Is that how you think this works? But Tulip's like, look, I don't know how it works, but I need somebody who doesn't give a damn. I need reckless abandon. With everything going on, it's time for cowboys. But Danny doesn't really know Tulip like that, and he's gonna need to before he knows that he can trust her. Because trust is very important to Danny and the writer. And the writer is gonna wanna know what she's got to hide. So of course Tulip gives him permission to do what he's gotta do to find out. And then Danny transforms into the Ghost Rider, and he stares into Tulip's eyes. And then sometime later on, we see Tulip in the bed waking up. And as she gets up, Johnny Blaze is there to greet her with some tea. And if you've been checking out the Ghost Rider Final Vengeance series, then you guys know right now Johnny Blaze doesn't have the full power of the Ghost Rider. But he does still have some residual power, allowing him to shoot hellfire through his shotgun. But Tulip, meanwhile, wants to know what happened to her with the Ghost Rider. Did he just stare at her until she told him her secrets? But Johnny tells her that what happened was that she just felt all of the pain that she's caused in her life, which to her explains why she passed out. She's done quite a bit. But Johnny tells her that they will help her find Blade since they go way back. But if Blade does want to fight, he wants to know if Tulip can handle that. But she responds to him that Blade once made her a promise that if he ever went too far, then she'd put him down and she keeps her word. Meanwhile, outside, Danny is puking his guts out. And when Tulip comes out to check on him and asks what's wrong, he tells her that she's what's wrong with him right now. Sometimes when the writer does his thing, Danny's left remembering things about the person that just caught the stare, and he feels what they've caused, and it sometimes makes him puke. But then Tulip tells Danny that Johnny's in with her plan to find Blade, and she wants to know if Danny is too. And he's just about down to help, but before she came, he and Johnny were in the middle of a thing, and he tells her that if she helps them out, then they'll both help her out. Besides, the two brothers could use a third person for what they've got planned anyway. And he opens up a bunker filled with a freaking arsenal, and he has Tulip pick out a little something. And then we pick up with that thing that they had to do, as a small motorcade of military vehicles shows up on the road nearby, and Tulip greets them with a damn bazooka. And Johnny, meanwhile, walks him down with his Hellfire shotgun. And now Tulip wonders why it is that they're out here killing vampire mercenaries in the desert. But Johnny tells her that there's two reasons for that. One being that he wanted to make sure that she could. And two, being that there's a corporation that thinks it's money in capturing and franchising things from the Dark Force dimension. He and Danny were out here watching the route. And I wonder if that corporation that he's talking about is the one from the Spider-Man Blood Hunt tie-in that recruited Morbius. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, then make sure to check out that Blood Hunt playlist. But now Tulip wonders what it was that these guys were transporting. But she finds out the hard way when the lock breaks on one of the truck doors, and a giant tentacle with eyeballs attached breaks through and wraps up Tulip by the neck. But Johnny Blaze saves her with his shotgun, then makes her run out of the way just as the Ghost Rider comes barreling through with his motorcycle and bursting right through that truck and creature. And then we pick up in Iraq with Victoria Montessi, as in the Montessi formula that we've heard so much about during this event. It was her family that found that formula in the Darkhold, and she's also the daughter of Chthon. And as she arrives at this small village, she's pointed in the direction of a cave where she's told the darkness is. And then she gives warning to the people nearby to get the children as far away from here as possible. And when she enters the cave, we see a man that's been possessed. And Victoria tells this demon man that she's here to end the suffering of these people. But the man responds that life is suffering. Did your father not tell you? The Adana was loosed. Now those that feed upon blood, they rise. And my legion has so much power in this world. And ladies and gentlemen, I gotta pause it here for a second, because I think that the answer to Blade's turn in this event was just given away. The Adana. A 10-issue Blade miniseries just ended before this Blood Hunt event began. And at the end of the miniseries, Blade defeated the Adana. But it was implied that when she died, she might have possessed Blade. And I honestly didn't read that entire series, but this has prompted me to go back and catch up on it, so I will, because I really believe that just might be the case. That's why Blade is doing what he's doing, because he's possessed by the mother of most of the supernatural creatures in Marvel. But back with Victoria Montessi though, as she tells this demon-possessed man that his world is in hell. But then this demon reveals to Victoria that he enjoys being inside the flesh of this man and dragging his white-hot claws across the insides of this man. Then he gives Victoria a taste of the man's pain and fear as he lets the man take over for just long enough for him to scream for help. And Victoria tells the man that she will help him, but then the demon takes back over and tells her that her magic can do nothing. It's their time across this world now, and this demon has many more screams to accomplish. But maybe she's come here to silence her guilt from being the vessel of Chthon, a jackal of the Darkhold. All you ever were was orphan flesh. I was made from evil, she tells the demon man, and that is why evil will come to know her well, as she pulls out a large dagger. But this just makes the demon laugh. You mean to cut me out of him, he asks. Take your time, woman. Flay him layer by layer until you find me glistening. Embrace your nature. But this demon's got it all wrong, and she tells him that her nature has changed. and she doesn't play fair anymore. And she uses the dagger to cut her own hand, and then she uses her blood to draw a symbol on the ground. She's calling in reinforcements, as then Lilith arrives to take care of this demon. And as he now screams himself, Victoria walks out of the cave and tells the people that the man inside needs medical attention. But they are all free of the demon now. Then later on, as she sits at a restaurant and has her drink, she's met by Johnny Blaze. He's come a long way to ask her a question, but she already knows what he wants: to help kill Blade. But Johnny corrects her. They just want to confront him and understand what's happening. He said nothing yet about killing him. But Victoria responds that he didn't have to say anything. She already foresaw him coming. And if Blade is truly what it seems he's become, then the Midnight Suns will kill him. And that, my friends, is the end of the issue. So what did you guys think about the start of this tie-in series? I thought it was pretty freaking dope myself, honestly. And I feel like it kind of answered a lot of questions about this event to this point. I feel like it's without a doubt that Blade is possessed by the Adana. And I can't wait to see how they handle this. But how you guys feeling about this Blood Hunt event as a whole so far? And although we still haven't gotten the debuts of all of the tie-ins so far, which one has been your favorite? Like I said earlier, this event has been met with some mixed feelings, and I totally understand why it would. But I would say that for me so far, I've really liked the main Blood Hunt series issues, as well as this Midnight Suns tie-in, the Black Panther tie-in, the Doctor Strange tie-in, and the Strange Academy. I thought that one was pretty cool too so far. The Venom one was pretty decent too. In fact, I'd say it's been more good than bad, for me at least. I didn't think that the Spider-Man one was all that great, but at the same time, it does feel like one of the more important ones, with that reveal of the corporation and Morbius working on a cure. But of course, I want to hear all you guys' thoughts and feelings regarding this event, and if you agree with my take that Blade is possessed by the Adana. And if so, how do you guys see this ending for him? And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and this channel, and you'd like to support the channel, then you can do so by stopping by the Comics Icon store and pick you up some of this merchandise, including the background music heard right here in this video available for download. Or by joining the Iconic Fan Club channel membership. And there'll be a link in the description to join. But with your membership, your voice will be heard during our interactive live streams with yours truly, where we could talk about everything that's been going down in these issues, as well as ones that you'd like for me to go over in the future in other comic book news. Plus, you guys will get loyalty badges, member shoutouts, and up to 20% off Comics Icons merchandise from the Comics Icon store. And now we've got new tiers to the memberships as well, starting at just 99 cents. Or you guys can donate to the channel with a super thanks. And if you're not able to do any of that, then you can still be a huge help to this channel's future by dropping a like, share, and subscribing to Comics Icons for more icons in the comic book world. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. I'm out.